Look at these beauties. Do you know what they are?
Hi, Susan and Randy Donley here, and obviously another podcast for you. It's Friday.
It's Friday, and we are getting ready for our favorite auction of the year. It's the October Fall Classic coming up next weekend, October 23rd to the 25th. Mark your calendars.
So we've got a lot of interesting little trivia for you that went on this week. I mean, obviously, we're standing by a 1937 Caddy Convert, nice car here. It'll be for sale next weekend.
At Donley Auctions, history doesn't always arrive quietly. Sometimes it rolls in on a transport, holding its breath for the big reveal. Behold, a masterpiece of pre-war American luxury. A stunning 1937 Cadillac, followed by its incredible counterpart, a 1931 Cadillac. These aren't just cars, they are rolling sculptures, tangible pieces of a bygone era of elegance and power. This is what we live for, chasing history, and these two automotive legends are just the beginning. They will be crossing the auction block on Friday night, October 24th. The second day of our incredible Fall Classic auction. We invite you to be here live and in person to feel the excitement. Join us for a thrilling evening with complimentary food and beverages in a fun, welcoming atmosphere. And if you can't be here in person, you won't miss a thing. You can bid live online from anywhere in the world, right from our website at DonleyAuctions.com. See the full catalog and register to bid now at DonleyAuctions.com.
37 and a 31, both Cadillacs.
Well, local.
Arlington Heights. It's got a big V8 in it. Hey, more goodies. We've got a 37 Caddy V8, a four-door convert, and we've got a 31 Caddy, both with dual side mounts. It doesn't get much better. Okay. There goes my father at 95. He's going to get in his vehicle and drive away. So. Fun day.
What was this one again?
This is a 31 Cadillac.
And at that time, Cadillac had a car, so it was a Cadillac. I mean, it wasn't like a Cadillac
It's not a Cadillac LaSalle. It's a Cadillac.
Or a Cimarron.
There you go. We've got the slot machines starting to be set up. You can look around. The room is starting to change. We're getting a little closer. So we'll show you as the room progresses for next weekend. We're still getting calls for merchandise. Sorry, at some point it's going into the next auction.
Yeah.
So keep your calls coming and your emails, because we're definitely, every month we're doing auctions. What else do we have coming up? Movie memorabilia.
Yes.
So you'll see Mike Donley is putting together a movie memorabilia auction. Okay. I can't imagine how many years these have been wrapped up. These just came out of a warehouse in the city of Chicago.
Yep.
And what do you know about these, Mike? They're out of, do you know what theater they came out of?
Yeah, they're from the Kfax Theater, which was in Indiana.
Oh.
This is actually the marquee that goes on top of this one. You can see the one behind it.
Anybody got a pocket knife?
Actually, it would be.
Thanks.
So these are the poster cases that were actually out in front of the building, and these would have held what are called stills, lobby card stills, 11 by 14 pictures of the movies that were being shown that week, or back then the movies changed every 2 or 3 days actually. But this is actually the top for that one. But these are a matching pair of outdoor poster cases. I mean, stuff like this does not turn up anymore. When these theaters were demolished, so much of this stuff went down and just was bulldozed and trashed away.
50, 60 years ago already.
But there were a lot of guys that really, had a soft spot for this architecture and were grabbing remnants off buildings and such. Some of it got used, some of it was been in warehouses, and some of it's coming out now for auction. If you have any remnants from any of the famous movie palaces in Chicago or Wisconsin, Indiana, for that matter, anywhere. We've even got stuff coming from New York lately.
In California.
In California. But if you have anything from old movie palaces that you would like us to auction, we're going to be staging a movie memorabilia auction in 2026.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's why I wanted to show these, because you know, a lot of times we're talking about auctions that we're already running, but this is an opportunity to let you know about one that we're right now just accumulating for. We're looking for movie memorabilia and projection equipment.
Projectors, right? Or even movie cameras, some of the old hand crank movie cameras,
yeah,
you know, the studio would have used, any location, things like that, posters, chandeliers, anything.
You know, years ago, maybe 40 years ago, I was in Seattle and came up with a building full of film, but it was nitrate film.
Nitrate film, yep.
And I remember at that time you said, we can't do anything with it.
No,
now,
nitrate.
Is that still the case? Is nitrate really dangerous?
Nitrate, the older it gets, the more explosive it gets, actually. Nitrate film was used up until about the 1940s when safety film came in. Eastman Kodak came out with safety film. But nitrate, it was a nitrocellulose-based film. And if it catches on fire, it'll go like that. I mean, you cannot put it out. Literally cannot put it out. So you got to be very careful. When you open a can of 35 millimeter film, if you smell that real acrid smell, that's nitrate. Just close it up. You're better off.
Yeah. So how would somebody dispose of it?
Well,
I mean, are there companies that might still try to preserve it?
Yes, the American Film Institute down in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
They'll take it because of so much of the early days film got lost. I mean, they never thought of saving copies of this, and a lot of it was destroyed in vault fires, or the nitrate film will deteriorate after several years. American Film Institute will be happy to take a look at what you have.
Movie memorabilia we're always looking for. Now, Mike, I got a question for you about Oscars, because I was always told that you can't buy or trade Oscars, but yet I keep seeing other auction houses selling Oscars. What's the story? Is there a law against selling an Oscar?
Well, it's a law that's by the Academy. It's not a federal law.
So it's not a state or federal law. Kind of hard for them to enforce.
It's one of their bylaws. If you were a member of the Academy and you sold your Oscar, they'd throw you out of the Academy. So it's not like the police are going to come and get you for
So
selling
literally,
an Oscar.
as these old stars die and the families sell off the Oscars, what would they care if somebody got thrown out of the Academy? They're already gone.
Technically, they're supposed to go back to the Academy because they're the Academy's property is actually what they are.
But right now, if somebody has an Oscar, the Academy can't come and take it away from you.
I don't believe so.
Okay, good. So if you've got any Oscar items, at least let us know. We'll tell you our thoughts on what you can do with that or not do with that. But anything in architecture from movie theaters we're looking for. As a matter of fact, I think at some point you had some sides for old movie theater seats.
Oh yeah, I got a beauty inside there if you want to go take a look at
Let's
that
do
real
that.
quick. Yeah. Okay, this is stuff that's just started coming in. Again, we put out the word that we're looking for movie theater stuff, and this is some of the things that are starting to come in. Like this here is what's called a Brinker slide projector. You see it's on its original stand with a rectifier in its base. Now these would have been up in the projection booth in movie theaters from the silent era, maybe up until about the 1930s or something. And what they would use these for is for intermission slides in between shows. They would show slides of local retailers and merchants who were advertising in the movie theater. Plus they would have sing-alongs. So if you ever see a sing-along slide, they would have an organ player there that would play a popular song, and they would have slides that would be projected on the screen with the words on the bottom, and somebody would stand there with a pointer and point to the words. Where you ever hear "follow the bouncing ball" when they say that? That's what that is, because you saw a little dot that was bouncing along the tops of the letters as you're supposed to sing along with that. So,
and you know, here we have a broadcast mic, and a lot of people think these are only from the radios, but anybody that was doing announcing had to have a microphone. So this actually came out of a movie theater also.
Sure.
Because they made all kinds of announcements at movie theaters.
And vaudeville, the old vaudeville theaters and stuff too. You know, you'd have a comedian or a singer that would need one in the old vaudeville show. So that came out of a movie theater. I don't know which one, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
But now
Western Electric microphone too.
Oh, good. Western Electric stuff is very good. Any of the theater equipment, Western Electric theater equipment, big money. So
the seat ends. Okay, so most of the big movie palaces were all custom built and they were themed. There might be an Oriental theme, like the Oriental Theater in Chicago. They might be Art Nouveau theme or something. But they all the big places had a theme to them. Well, all the seat ends would be very decorative. The seat ends were always on the aisle. They were called the ends, and they were on the aisle of the rows of seats. Now, this one came out of the Fisher Theater in Detroit. All right, and it was a Mayan Aztec-themed theater. And this was one of the seat ends, and this would have had glass eyes in there, and they would have lit up, and they would have lit the aisle of the theater. So these are very decorative seat ends. It's not the original color scheme of them. They were very colored, what's called polychrome finish on them with multiple colors on them. But they're made of cast iron, they're very heavy, and seat ends have become very, very collectible because, again, most of them got ripped out and just scrapped for their cast irons. So.
And there's actually a lot of collectors who only collect the ends of theater seats.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, because there's so many different ones.
Yeah, what they'll do is they'll display it on a wall with a picture of the auditorium of the theater, and when you see a half a dozen of them on a wall, they make a great display.
Movie memorabilia coming up with Mike Donley.
Yep.
You know, Mike was a projectionist. Used to show movies in the theaters years ago. And of course, he's collected movie memorabilia, so he's really quite a specialist in movie memorabilia. So we've got projection equipment, we've got cameras, we've got sound equipment, posters, architecture, all kinds of goodies in the upcoming auction.
So make sure you check our website at donleyauctions.com just to check the schedule on the dates for when that auction is.
Right, Native American too coming up.
Native American coming up in November.
So, but we'll keep telling you more. What you want to do is see what's going on here. So
yes.
Watch the podcast.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Randy Donley with Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois, but we're not here in Union, Illinois. I'm actually at the Renaissance Center in Schaumburg, Illinois, and I'm here with Damon Granger. And Damon and I are actually set up at the Pinball Expo, which is this weekend. So when you see this podcast, we're going to be half over. This event takes place Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You're seeing this on Friday, so it's half over. But we're actually here set up promoting kind of a different show. Now, we want you to come to this show, and we'll be talking about it in a few minutes. But Damon has taken over, has actually purchased, correct? You purchased
with a partner
the coin-op show that has been a Chicagoland staple for 40 years. And my brother and I, Mike and I, have done it all those years and everything. But you know what? It's been purchased. And again, I can't thank you enough for everything you're doing to keep the hobby alive. Because
well, we're fortunate to have the reins. I mean, literally, the show is something like a tradition to my family. We've been going to or setting up at it for years as well, and we appreciate the opportunity to make it, to the next level if possible.
In the last few years, the vendors have all been complaining about the location. People didn't like the location because it became a home at Pheasant Run in St. Charles, Illinois. And a lot of the vendors just didn't like the new location. So the first thing you do...
Well, there's positives and disadvantages to everything in the world. And Grays Lake is a beautiful area. It was a beautiful venue.
That it is.
But it's a lot further from the O'Hare Airport. This is an international program that we're trying to run, and the further away you get from the international airport, the harder it is for anybody to come to your...
And we do want to compliment the old owners on doing everything they could to work with the show and the vendors and everything. But Damon and his partner, Dave, who we talked to, you're taking it in a new direction. You've moved it to the Renaissance Center.
So we're
bold move, my friend.
Taj Mahal of buildings. If you haven't been to the Renaissance Center, the Pinball Expo is worth coming out to see this weekend, and then we'll be the following weekend. It's just, you have everything under one roof, and as a vendor from years past at the coin-op, that's what was lacking when it got moved to Grays Lake. So now moving it back to a venue of that type of nature, but even a nicer venue right off the expressway. I think it's a no-brainer. I think that literally it's going to
I think you're
go
so
crazy.
spot on. You're so right. This location, and selfishly, you know, at the same time, we promote that we have become kind of like the nighttime entertainment for the slot machine show over the years, doing the Friday night auction. Now, even though we're running our auction Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Thursday and Saturday don't compete with your show. We're not really running the same items. We're running coins and jewelry and other things. Friday night is when we bring in our slot machines and jukebox auction. And like I say, we try to be very careful that we don't compete and do too much in one weekend. But back in the old days, guys would come into town, not only from all over the United States, but from all over the world, and they'd be here in town with nothing to do at night. So that's how we started a nighttime auction at Donley Auctions. And this new location is so easy to get to our place from there, and about half the time.
Good.
I think it's really only going to be at most a half hour to get from here to the nighttime auction, and expressway all the way, instead of that horrible hour-plus drive-in traffic that you used to go through. But let's talk more about the show. That's coming up next weekend.
Correct.
And the dates are
24th and 25th of October.
24th and 25th. Yeah. So our folks out there, our listening audience, can they get in on the 24th, or is that dealers only?
No,
how does that work?
That's early buyer is what it was traditionally called. I call it public admission of first day.
Okay, now that would be on Thursday or Friday?
No, that's Friday.
Friday,
So
okay.
Thursday, the vendors get to drop and start their
That's
setup.
just a drop off.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Friday morning, the vendors will get an hour prior to the public.
And to that point, I want to point out that in the past, a lot of general public buyers, would maybe complain that the dealers were having an advantage to buying, and that's not the case the way you're running it. I mean, everybody kind of gets in at Friday.
Technically, we've changed the program a little bit. They used to allow the early buyer in at the exact same time as the vendor is setting up. You have to have time to get the inventory in order for it to be shopped.
And that's what the Thursday drop-off is for. But Friday, you don't want to miss it. I mean, it's just as exciting as it ever was. I mean, 40 years ago. Slot machines, jukeboxes, all types of coin-op, advertising. And let's wait and talk about advertising for a minute, because you actually started with advertising, the advertising shows.
We were fortunate enough to save the indie show. We started in 2017 on that.
Save it they did. We'll talk about that in a minute.
There was 23 vendors my first round. We took it from 23 vendors, and now we're well over 200, maybe 400 if you really count it, because there's two per booth.
What were we there 2 weeks ago in Indy?
It's been, so you were at the fall program in Indy. In the spring program, we filled 220,000 square feet at the state fairgrounds.
Wow.
So this building is 100,000.
Incredible. Incredible. And I just, I'm not just saying this because you're standing right here. What a well-run show.
Well, thank you.
A well-run show. We set up there also because we're always promoting auctions at as many shows as we can, and we get to a lot of shows. All over the country, we're doing shows and everything. It takes a lot to impress me. I got to tell you, your show is so well run. I'm so looking forward to the move here. Can you tell how excited I am? This isn't made up. I mean, I just. People would say, well, wait a minute, why are you promoting his show? Aren't you competing with each other? No, what we're doing is trying to, keep the hobby alive.
One hand washes the other.
Absolutely. And your show is so important to this hobby. It just is. And you have to come out to this new location because this is the first time here. Correct?
Yeah. We've got room for growth here, and that's the key. Oh my God, yeah. There's a lot of positives to this location. I've been a vendor my whole life. And I know it's not easy.
And you know what it takes.
Yeah. And so that's why I think a lot of people like us being at the helm is because we sit behind the booth table also. We know that it's not easy. We know the ins and outs, and it's just, we're fortunate to have the ability to be at the helm and control a few of the factors that help the vendor. And I think that's what's perpetuated us to this level, is because we've looked out for the people that bring the stuff to the table, and that's where the show starts from. The early buyer in this program has been part of the tradition of this show, kind of like Donley having his auction. Randy, we appreciate you. Like I said, one hand washes the other. It just brings more people to the table.
New life to the show, new owners, new life, new experience. You have to come to this show. Your wife is like an active part of this show, setting up and everything, the management of it. That's Angela, isn't it?
Yeah, she would be right here, but she ran back to the hotel room. So that's what's convenient about the venue, is the ladies can just go back to the hotel room whenever they want.
Nice, nice. So, so again, I have to thank you so much for everything. We're so looking forward to this.
I think it's a rare opportunity. If you guys look into it, this is the largest show of its type in the world, and you need to take advantage of that when it comes to town.
And you make such a good point. Here, everybody out there, you're watching, you're probably within hours of this show. Some people might take, as you said, a day to get here. There's people traveling from all over the world who come to this show. You don't want to miss it.
Yep.
Wow. Monstrous.
Now there's a pinball machine. The Mothership. Here we are at the Pinball Expo at the Renaissance Center in Schaumburg, Illinois. And what a crazy event this is. We're set up here, of course. You heard about us talking about this earlier, but this is like the wildest event. Friday night, tonight, it's open until midnight. Tomorrow, Saturday, it's open till 1 a.m. and they have an arcade going to be set up here with hundreds and hundreds of machines, all on free play. There's one admission to pay, and this is the pinball world. If you love pinball and anything involved with it, or you need repairs, you need to buy machines, anything, this is where you want to be this weekend at the Pinball Expo at the Renaissance Center. Go to their website, you can find out more about it, or go to our website, donleyauctions.com.
Here it is, an icon of the American roadside, the legendary Flying Red Horse. This massive 9-foot original 1959 porcelain Mobile Pegasus sign is a true showstopper that presents beautifully. Don't miss your chance to own a giant of automobilia. Bid now at DonleyAuctions.com.
Well, one thing I want to show you real quick is one of my favorite games, the Skee-Ball game right here. I used to take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese all the time, and that's where they learned how to play Skee-Ball. And
but apparently you didn't.
Apparently I did not. So, don't look at that. I need to practice. I didn't get to wind up my arm at all. But these games used to be 32 feet long in the early 1900s, and then they eventually shortened them up to 10 feet. So it'll fit much easier in your home now, that's for sure.
So just one of many, many things you can buy at our auction coming up next weekend. Don't miss it.
This is going to be in Friday, the best of the best items, hot pink for the hot night, Friday, October 24th. Don't miss it. Go to our website at DonleyAuctions.com to see everything in the catalog. But better yet, don't you want people to come out here?
Come here live.
Because what I heard is that you're going to have a special treat for everybody. Ice cream.
Well,
ice cream. Ice cream. Come out for the ice cream, stay for the auction.
I guess it's not a surprise anymore. So for now,
I'm Susan.
And I'm Randy Donley, and we'll see you at the auction.
Wave, Ryan.